everyone, it's Steph from Wild Fox Stitchery here. I am going to film another stitch with me today, so I'm happy that you're joining me. Um, if you could let me know in the comments below what you're stitching on, if you're stitching on something while you're watching, that would be amazing. I always like to see what everyone's stitching and possibly get tempted to add it to my wish list, which happens way too often. Probably happens to everybody, but I already have plenty of projects and plenty of plans, so I don't need any more, but I still want to see what, just in case, you never know. So today I am working on mini Once Upon a Time, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs, and the artwork is by Ann Stokes. I started this one in my last Stitch With Me video, which was my very first one ever. So you saw me start here in the bottom left corner, and I did about 230-ish stitches that time. These are 10 stitches, and I am using a 28 count fabric. So I've added some more since then, as you can see. Right now I am at 1.26% done. This is a mini, so there is a total of 81,648 stitches. I am going to go ahead and get started. These three squares here need to be almost filled in with black, so I was going to get those done first, and then I'll go back and fill in some of these empty spaces here. So this first part will go really quickly. Since it's almost all just black fill-in. After I am done and not doing a video, I might continue filling in the 310. We'll see. I know that does sound like it might get kind of boring just watching someone do 310, so I figured I would do some other colors in here, although they're all grays. This is a very drab sort of picture, but I really think it's lovely anyways, even with the less bright colors. It is a Wednesday evening that I'm filming this time. I thought maybe I can attempt at least to film 2 Stitch With Me videos per week. So if I can get them filmed, I might try to post them Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then of course I have my regular Floss Tube episode on Saturdays for my weekly update. Been really into stitching on my full coverages lately, so I've been focusing on that. I've also been working on Blueberry J by Jet X Stitch, which I started with a few other people. So that's been fun. It's a really cool pattern. I'm sure you've seen it. I think the chinchillas are going to be quiet today. They look like they're sleeping. They have little hammocks, fleece hammocks that they both have that they like to hang out in. It's so cute. Although you might hear noise in the background because my whole family is here and doing things outside of the office. I don't know how well the noise is going to travel and get picked up by the microphone. I haven't mastered two-handed stitching. I just use my one hand to go over and under. But I used this hand, my left hand, to hold the hoop steady and I feel underneath with that hand to see where the holes are in the fabric. Gotta lower my chair. If you hear weird noises, that's what I'm doing. Uh-oh, the chinchillas are waking up. Mark off these stitches. We just got done with dinner. We had burritos. And I make homemade refried beans for our burritos, which are way, way better than any store-bought ones. Oh, the dogs are going nuts. Someone must be at the door. One, two, three. Okay. When you're filling in a color like this, it goes pretty fast. But maybe after I do this thread, I'll switch to a different color to make this a little bit more interesting. You can see how every other row will look different on the back because of the way I start. I always start in the top right and go down in both directions. Now these last two in this little block are just filled in. Wow, when you have animals, there's little hairs always sticking to your project, isn't there? Stitching all this 310 reminds me of stitching on. So I gotta go one more up here. stitching on the Killer's chart. It's charted by Tilton Crafts that I have going on. That thing is practically all black. It's got a thick black border around the whole thing that I'm stitching. I will be stitching. I have the next 2 days off from work, which is going to be really fun. Hopefully I'll be ambitious and I can get a lot of things done around the house, like housework, maybe cleaning out the cupboards. Maybe some other stuff. But I also hope that I can get a lot of stitching time in, and well, we still have school tomorrow, but Friday the kids have off, so we don't have to do any schoolwork. I homeschool them. So tomorrow, of course, in the morning, and however long it takes, we'll have to get that done. But at least I won't be working, so it'll get done a lot sooner than normal. Normally, they do their stuff that they can do on their own during the day while I'm working, and then I get done with work pretty early at 2:30, so that we have plenty of time to do the rest of the stuff that we do together that I have to actually teach them, which is pretty much almost everything else, most of the subjects. So that takes a while. Then it's dinner time. Well, then I work out, and then it's dinner time. So dinner time actually gets to be pretty late now this year. We used to eat around 5, which is really early. Now it's usually 6 or 6:30 or later. Last night, the boys had their last flag football practice, so we ordered pizza, and I ordered it to be delivered at 7:30, but it ended up not getting delivered till almost 8:30. So that was really late. Let me mark these off here. I got almost 2 rows in over there. Okay, so let's see how many stitches that was. So that was 104 stitches. And it's been 13 minutes, just about. So that's pretty quick when it's just one color like that. But now we're gonna go ahead and fill in some of these here. We'll use 930. I keep my thread on bobbins, and I just have a master set. So I have about 4 or 5 boxes with them all, with one bobbin for each color, ideally. And then I have a bunch of extras that I've gathered over the years. So I just go use the master set for all of my projects, which makes it easy to switch around between projects and not have to worry about the thread going with different projects and not knowing where it is. I think I got that camera position in a little bit better spot this time. More centered instead of falling off the edge of the video screen. I was just thinking, my son supposedly has a dentist appointment in the morning. And I almost forgot about that. But I was just thinking how they never texted or anything to confirm. So now I'm wondering if they put him down or not. We've had a lot of issues with one of my sons at this new dentist office. First, they had their 6-month cleaning scheduled, I think, the end of May or something. And then they just canceled. They canceled both of them a couple days before their appointment. And then we couldn't get it until June with the one. And then the other one, when I tried to reschedule, they couldn't even, somehow his account got closed or locked. So they weren't able to schedule him at all. And they kept saying they'd have someone work on it and get it unlocked. But every time I would talk to them about it, they didn't know how to do it. Finally, when I was there last week, I asked, and the office manager said, it's working now, it looks like, and we'll get him in next week. But I hope that's true. I'll call tomorrow. So yeah, all this time he should have had his cleaning at the end of May or at least in June, and he hasn't been able to get in yet. Oh, and then the other thing that was even more frustrating was my older son. The same thing happened to him. The week before his appointment, it was canceled. And then when I called to reschedule it right away, I called. They couldn't get him until February. So this was back in June. So from June to February, they didn't have any openings, even though they're the ones that canceled on us. So that was frustrating. And then I asked, because I had gotten my younger son in, a month later or a couple weeks later, they had openings, and I guess when you turn 13, you're considered an adult, and the adult openings are a lot more filled in, I guess. So you have to wait months to get in. And yet somehow when I when I went in, I went for my first exam because it was my first time going there. So they did the exam. They didn't have a cleaning. They got me in for a cleaning the next day. So I don't know how that works. I don't know how their scheduling's going. Trying to see what I did here so I can mark it off. The only reason we had to switch dentists is because our old one stopped taking our insurance, and we have to pay up front for when you take 3 kids in for a cleaning, paying up front. It's before they send it to insurance, and then maybe getting a part of your payment back is a lot of money. We can't afford to do that all up front like that. So we had to find a dentist that will Submit to insurance first. I have quite a few full coverage whips already, and there's a few that I still want to start. I think I am going to get them all started in the next couple months, hopefully before the end of the year. One of them I'm saving for the first for a new year, new start. But otherwise, hopefully I can get them all going and then put them into the rotation. I'll probably be focusing a lot on full coverage next year. So I can make some good progress. I'm in the group Full Coverage Fanatics, and I want to do a couple of their events they have going on throughout the year next year. I haven't participated in any yet, but there's one for getting 26,000 stitches in 2026. But if you're doing half cross stitches, you have to do 2 times as many, so 52,000, which of course is 1,000 stitches a week on one project. The same project for the whole year, I think. I'm pretty sure. So I'm going to do that with the one that I start on January 1st. That way it's easier to see. A blank slate starting spot. I'll just end this one here. Since we made it back to the edge over on this side. Let's see what color is next after I mark these off. When I was getting ready for this video and getting my colors that I would need handy, I couldn't find one of them, which is weird. Since, like I said, I thought I had one of each, but then sometimes I do get lost. So I might actually have to buy one of them. Now we're going to use 336. And I'm excited after I do this video. I'm going to go out to the living room and stitch and watch a hockey game. Because hockey season has officially begun. And normally during the regular season, the only games we get are Wednesdays. We don't pay for a lot of extra sports channels or anything like that. So I think on Wednesdays they normally have it on a channel that we get. And I think it's the Canadians and Maple Leafs, I believe, is one of the games at least. I don't know which one is going to be on TV. There's also, of course, the baseball game. It's a big deal in our house. The Yankees game. Game 4. But if they lose, they're out. My sons are big. At least my one son is a big Yankees fan. It's hard not to cheer for the teams that your kids like. So the Yankees might be growing on me. Anyways, normally I'm a Minnesota Twins fan. Of course, they're not in the playoffs. Not sure they ever will be. Just kidding. Of course they will be. And then as far as the teams in the playoffs, I would probably root for the Mariners. Most likely. We'll see what happens. Wrong one. Halloween's coming up soon. The boys, even though they're 12 and 13, they're still looking to dress up and go trick-or-treating. Oops, I think I just pulled the thread out. I have to get my needle threader out for this one. So, we're big Star Wars fans, especially the boys. The twins are going to be Jawas. Their best friend is going to be Princess Leia. I don't know if she's going to come with us trick-or-treating, but the day after Halloween, there is a Star Wars night at the local USHL hockey team. We're going to go to that, and they are all 3 going to wear their costumes to Star Wars night, so that's going to be fun. And my oldest son is going to be some Fortnite character, some big pickle Fortnite character. Now I gotta find where I was. Maybe I should mark off my stitches. That might help. Okay. I think I've got it. I think I made a small mistake somewhere, but what are you gonna do? Won't be the first or the last. Okay. have some up in, let's see if I can figure this out. So from here up to this one. Okay. I'm only doing these because I forgot to end my thread on the last stitch, so I'll just keep going with it up here. And why not? I'll keep going up with this to the next square up here. So I've been playing World of Warcraft. I used to play it a lot back in the day. And sometimes I'll go back every so often and play again a little bit, see what's going on in the game. So I am playing it again for when I can. And there's this new thing that just came out this week. It's kind of fun. It's basically redoing one of the old expansions so that people get to play it again, but in a different special way where you can get a bunch of cool things. That's been interesting. I don't really know anyone that plays anymore, which is too bad. We had a lot of fun back in the old days with a bunch of people. I still have more of this thread. I can keep going, right? The neighbors down the street have a litter of puppies that they're about just over a month old, I think. So the kids have been over there whenever they can because they put them out in a playpen in the yard, and they told the boys and their friend that whenever they see them out there, they can go over and hang out with them because they want the puppies to be socialized. So the kids are always going over there whenever they get the chance to see if the puppies are out. They love them so much. Although I think they're realizing that little baby puppies are sometimes not always as fun because they're in that stage, of course, where they're biting them constantly. They're pooping and peeing all over them because they're so little, but they still love it. There, that thread went all over the place. Now I gotta figure out where I stitched and mark it off. This is usually how it is. Just a random way of stitching. Sometimes I'm filling in these spots, and then sometimes I'm just going everywhere. Let's see what else we've got here. 317. There's a lot of that on here. Now I can fill in almost all of these little open spaces. It's just one more color after this, but I think it's the one I couldn't find. Oops. Wow, that was close. I almost pulled it out again. I have another dragon chart that's much bigger than this one. It's from Pain Free Crafts, called Dragon Artist by Nini Thomas. And I'm going to start that soon too. I started this for Jen's birthday. She's having a birthday dragon stitch along. So maybe I should just go ahead and start that one this week for her birthday sale. So that's a good excuse, right? I have the fabric. I got a little lost here. Okay. This must be a place where I messed it up before last time. I don't know. Just have to find it. Oh no. Oh good. I thought I pulled out the thread again. Hate when that happens. Okay, so there and there. Okay, well, let me mark this off so I can see if I'm missing something. Something's off, but you know, these are all grays, so is it really that big a deal? Probably not. Okay, I think I need one here. And I think I need one here. Then it looks good. Hear some other dogs barking for once. Usually it's our dogs being the loud ones. I wonder if this is the most boring piece I could have picked to do a stitch with me. It's just so gray. You know, I try. I'll do another piece next time, maybe with more color. Now I better mark stuff off or I'm gonna get lost again. I wonder how many stitches I've done so far. Ooh, 272. In 43 minutes. That's not too bad. Let's put some more three. Oh, I'm not even done with what I already did. The one I'm on. That's funny. I was gonna get another strand. Sometimes the chinchillas get really loud. They have a wheel. It's a really big wheel. It's like made out of a oil drip pan from that you would change the oil in a car. So it's really big. It has to be for their little backs so they don't get injured. But it is loud when they run on it. Someone had made it and sold, and I bought it on Etsy. I also got their little hammocks and one of the fleece linings in there at the bottom of their cage. I ordered on Etsy from someone, and it turns out the person lived in the same city as Meadow, which is really funny. And then the other one I made myself. I had to get a metal tray for. I have two boys, and they used to be in this, like, they used to share the cage. But then one of them started bullying the other one and not letting him eat and just beating him up. So they had to be separated. So now one's on the top section, one's on the bottom section in their own little areas. Before they had a double one together. But there's plenty of room. And the one on the top kept trying to chew through. It was a plastic tray to the bottom to get to the other one. So I had to get a metal tray. That's when I had to order a different type of fleece. Now I'm really lost here because I don't remember where I was. Let's see. Well, I can put some in up here. But otherwise, I can make I made like the pillowcase type of fleece coverings for the plastic trays that I can slip the tray into. So the one on the bottom isn't chewing through his, so he gets to keep those old trays. Their names are Pippin and Sam. That is a Lord of the Rings reference. But we call them Pippi and Sammy, of course. Pippi is the one that was being really mean to poor little Sammy. See, look at that. We'll meet in the middle. We're at the place I was lost before, and it looks like it worked out perfectly. I can end this here. And my stitches in this area are all done. I feel like you might hear my stomach growling, which is weird since, like I said, we just ate dinner. Okay, what are we gonna do next? Let's go here and fill in some of these spots with 535. If I can get this floss off the bobbin. Stuck. I'll have to have my corgi in here next time when I do one of these so that I can show him either that or on my floss tube. We'll see. Hey, I finally got a piece off. When I have leftover pieces of thread that are long enough to be used again, I just wind it all back on the bobbin. So sometimes it gets to be a lot of pieces of thread that are wound back on. Okay. I can almost pretty much just fill in all these little areas here. It makes it easier. I was working on a different project earlier today. It's a really difficult one. So much confetti. I'm not even sure if I'm going to keep working on it, but I like it. It's Van Gogh Never Passed by Unconventional X Stitch. And I'm a really big Lord of the Rings fan, so that's the reason I wanted to do it. It just takes so long with all the different color changes. I'm sure other ones I have are going to be the same way, so I won't give up on it. I got 350 stitches in on it today, even with all the color changes. Okay, before I get lost, I better mark these up. I tend to do a whole bunch of stitches, and then when I go to mark them, I forget which ones I did. So maybe I mark off ones that I didn't do yet. Sometimes, which gets confusing later on. Just throwing my needle around. At the end of my last floss tube video, I said I was thinking of getting some crocheting out. And I found some yarn that I have, because of course I have plenty of yarn around. Just gotta figure out what I want to do. I gotta double check, but I think... Oh wait, there's one way over here, so I might as well put that in. Then I'll end this, and I'll also say goodbye for tonight. I'll probably do some more black after this, and that is going to be too boring to watch. So thank you very much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing and following along. I'll be doing more Stitch With Me's, and hopefully they'll improve as time goes on, because this is only my second one, so I'm still learning. Hopefully you all have a good night. Talk to you later.